Linda, my dad Warren, and my sister Isabel for being the most supportive, gracious, incredible human beings, and for coming to my gigs, whether they were in a concert hall or a frat house, or both on the same night, and none of this could have happened without you. So thank you. That's all for now. There's more in the programs. If any of you want to talk to me at some point about the idea behind this, please come find me. I'm around. This last piece, movement, whatever you want to call it, is called the Ostrich. Thank you for coming out. Thank you so much. So the other night, I'm dreaming, and you're there, but it's less like you and I, and more like we, you know? So we are there, and we are an ostrich. I know that sounds crazy. It probably is, but I'm the one who's dreaming, so we are there, and we are an ostrich. Vaulted cathedral, and I know that it would be beautiful, except that it's pouring, and I have no idea how the rain's getting in, whether it's a structural integrity kind of issue or just some kind of dream magic, but in the moment none of it really matters because it's incredibly wet and incredibly cold and just generally kind of awful. So we start running around because I'm worried that if we leave, that means losing this whole we thing that I'm very fond of, right? But maybe just moving around could help to distract us from what's going on. So we're doing these sort of gangly ostrich strutts back and forth across the hall and around the pews. And then all of a sudden, out of the rain struts my old professor. And he's an ostrich too, so strut. And he starts reciting some old lecture about the theory of diminishing returns, except he's saying it all backwards, so it's returns diminishing of theory the, and I can barely understand the words he's saying, let alone what their point is. So I start really panicking that I'm not going to be prepared for the midterm, which is a dream midterm, not a real midterm, so it doesn't actually matter. But again, in the moment, I'm terrified. So I decide that I'm going to yell at him and say something to the effect of, stop talking backwards, you're being a really inconsiderate teacher. But before I get the chance, the rain starts to come on even harder, and it swallows up the whole cathedral. So, we're sinking under the water, and I'm even more terrified because I hate swimming. But then all of a sudden we turn into a fish, and we've got a pair of gills like a fish, and we're breathing together. Except when you're part of one body, you don't breathe together, you just breathe, right? So we breathe and we swim, we breathe and we swim, and finally you say something to the effect of, this would be so much better if we could always be this close. I tell you, that's not usually how it works with me. You know, you gotta lower your expectations. And so then, you ask me if I would miss you after you're gone. And then I wake up.
Tory Mathieson on vocals, Jess on vocals. Thank you guys so much.